Hello kids, welcome back to Kids Mind, where we come to learn, laugh and explore. Today I'm going to be taking you through art. I am your teacher, Alvin, and please make sure to follow us at our social media platforms at GBS TV Africa, SMS line 21144. And so today we are going to be drawing wildlife with different skills such as shading with your pencil. And so for today's lesson, you're going to be only using a pencil, a rubber, and a book. So we are going to be starting out with drawing a circle for where our head is going to be. After drawing the circle, you can now draw how the body of our deer is going to be. And so having half of the deer's body is going to be covered with grass. And so coming to the side of our circle, you can now draw in the neck. And right over here, we can now start to draw the shape of our deer's nose. And so we are going to draw a circle to show where our eyes will be, and another circle for the horns. And so on the others, so we can now start to draw the antlers for the deer. So we are going to draw them coming outwards like branches. So after drawing one side, we can now come to the other side and draw the same. And so after drawing both sides, we can now start by drawing the eye. So the eye will be like an oval shape, like that. And so we can now start to rub the outlines, and then we can now darken out. And so for the eye, we can now shade it like that, and now continue on to the nose. And after drawing that, we can now continue with the lower side of its mouth, same to the jaw. And so right over here, after drawing its neck, we can now draw another circle for the legs, and the hind one should be a bit bigger. And so right over here is where our legs are going to be, like that. And then right above the legs, we are going to make a curve, same to the hind ones, but the hind ones won't be as big as the front ones. And so after drawing that, we can continue with the legs of the deer, and then to draw the underside of its stomach, like that. And then so for the tail, we can draw some lines with some hair at the tip of the tail. And then you can erase the tail if you see it's not looking nice, and continue on like that. And so you can now rub out the guidelines that we drew. To leave our work neat. And so after drawing that, we can now start drawing some of the plantations around the deer to cover up the lower part, so that we may now see it in the wilderness. And we can draw a small plant like that, and continue on with the grass. And so after drawing that, we can continue on, and then we can draw another small plant with some leaves, and continue on with the grass that. So after drawing the antlers, you can darken them out to make them way more visible. And so when you are done with them, we can now start to draw out the background of the deer. So we can start by drawing a tree. And so after finishing off the branches, we can now add in the leaves. So after making some small sketches, we can now And so after finishing, we can now draw some birds in the sky, like that. And now on the top right side, we can now draw in the sun. With some clouds. And so after drawing that, you can now continue on with the vegetations around the deer, and you can add some in its mouth, show that it was eating the grass. So you can now darken the tail and you can now start to shade. And so after shading, we are now done with our deer and the background. And that, kids, is how you can draw a deer in 3 simple steps by using different shapes. And thank you, kids, for watching. I hope you have enjoyed very much for drawing these simple steps of a deer. And so I hope that next time you can come with your friends and see how to draw different types of animals. Make sure to follow us at GBS TV Africa, SMS line 21144. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye.